Hey, what's up everybody? I think I got a pretty good show for you today, show you what I've been up to for the past day. But before I do that, I want to show you something a little special. Right here. This belonged to my father. I don't know how well it's showing up. Let me get back a little bit. That is a Navy pea coat. And it's actually from World War II. That was my father's. It's getting kind of raggedy. But when I was younger, I used to wear that to school. Yes, my father was in the Navy in World War II. I sent away, there's a website you can get on. I can't remember what it is. I did some genealogy a couple years ago. And I sent away to the government and got all the information I could on him. When he was in the service, and he was actually in the Seabees. Now, he was never really stationed on a ship, but I was able to track everywhere he was at. He went from the Great Lakes over to the East Coast, from there to San Francisco, and then he wound up going over, getting into Saipan, and then wound up in the Philippines. And he was actually there at the end of the war. He wasn't in very long, I think it was about 14 months, maybe a year to 14 months he was in. He got drafted towards the end there. He had 2 kids and got drafted. But yeah, he was actually in the Navy in World War II. And that coat's about the only thing I got left of him. He died back in '68. But it's awful funny, you know, he was actually a painter. Painter first class, I believe it was, in the Seabees. And here I am making fun of the color of the ship and everything. He'd probably shoot me. But anyway, enough of the history lesson. So I thought I'd get you caught up where we're at. Okay, here's the hull of the ship. I still haven't made much progress on this, but I did manage to get the black stripe on there. I got that on. I used that Tamiya pinstripe. We're going to see how good it holds up. I wasn't real happy with it. You know, I should have heeded my own words and went out and got me some good 3M pinstripe. But it went on pretty good. Looks pretty nice. So there's that. Got that done. Actually, for the last day, I've been working on photo-etch. And let me show you a little something here. This big gun here, this big 14-incher right here. You see them 2 little white dots? Well, that's where the plastic plane launch went. The one they gave you, where's it at? I thought I had it laying here. That's where that was supposed to be mounted. Let me see if I get the right one here. I think it's this one. It's one of these 2. I'm not sure. I think it's this one here. That little thing right there. Little plane launch. Now, when you do the photo etch, it doesn't mount into them holes. And I didn't find this out until after I started working on the photo etch, and I already got the gun mounted. But you have to fill them 2 little holes in, so that's what them 2 little white dots are. And luckily the photo etch fits right over the top of that, so I'll just have to, you know, touch that up a little bit and don't have to do any kind of painting really on it. So keep that in mind if you happen to buy this model, or any model I guess, and you get photo etch. Pay attention to the photo etch, read through it, I guess is what I should have done, and seen where some of the stuff went, and I would have saved myself a little headache there. But it worked out alright. Here's another little thing. Got a little pill bottle, old pill bottle, and that's basically pretty much the rest of the parts I got. The airplanes are in there, the anchors are in there. I haven't got to them yet. The only thing I've still got left on a piece of sprue is some of the little posts I think that go on the bow and in the rear of the ship, and I don't know what the other 2 are. I got to find that out. So I left them on there because it's got the numbers on them. That's all I got left on the sprue. I do have these, the steps, but I'm going to be making them out of photo etch. So I just wanted to hold on to them just in case. Now, this photo etch. Man alive, is this something. Here's my photo etch I've been working on. Now, here's the front two cranes. I don't know what those are. But there's the front two cranes. I got two of those. Let me see if it shows up. There they are. Now, this was a treat because they want you have to cut off the whole beginning, the whole original part, which is right here. I cut all this off. See if I can hold this up so you can see it. I had to cut all that off. Okay? And you also have to cut the very top of it off and save it because it gets glued back on once you're done. Okay? So, I did two of those. Here's my launch that goes on top of the 14-inch gun. There's that. I had a little problem with that. I couldn't figure out which way it went. I had to get on the internet and look at all these pictures. I was putting it up on there backwards, and until I found out the right way. And like I said, that came out to my advantage because it covered up them two holes, doing it the way it's supposed to be done. Now, the rear crane, the one that goes on the rear of the ship. Now this one here, this was a treat. Because the heads, you make the crane, and then they tell you you need, and I don't know if it's showing up very good, but I had to build a little plastic base for it to sit on. And it's a little piece of plastic in a T shape. And I thought, now, if I mount that to the deck, how's this crane supposed to swivel? So I took a little piece, I had some extra, I got a bunch of styrene, and I had a little piece of plastic tube, and I cut it, and I really had to shave it down, and I mounted that on top of that. I don't know if that's showing up or not, but I mounted it on top of that little plastic tube, and then I'll mount that onto the deck so it looks like it swivels on that tube. So, but that was a treat. I'll tell you what, this catapult here, this one here that I was showing you, mounts on top of the gun. I think, I can't remember, 9 or 10 different pieces that goes to this thing to make this up. That was a treat. But it looks pretty nice. It's real sharp. But the only problem I had is, now here the photo etch is all flat. It's all flat stuff. Why he couldn't put in that little piece of T-square that I did, that little piece of T, it would just, a little flat piece of photo etch. That's all you had to do. But I cut it out of plastic. It was no big deal. Got that done. Here's the rear launch, the one that goes on the rear of the deck. Rear airplane launch or recovery. I'm not sure what it is. And there's supposed to be two little catapult sleds. One goes on each one. I haven't got those on yet. And the reason being is I was showing you this, both of these here. Let me get these out of here. Both of these little launches that come with the kit. See if I can do this. If you can see, the bottom of the plane is on there. The float part of the plane. I don't know what you call them, pontoons or whatever. But they're on there, so they're going to have to be cut off. And I have to cut those off and then mount them on to the little sled that comes with the photo etch. So that's going to be a treat. The only thing I really got left on the photo etch, I believe, is the these little plank or little steps, like I said, that comes up off the side of the ship. Those there. Okay, well, they come in photo etch. I have to put those together yet. I don't know where they're at. Let me see. They're on here somewhere. I believe that might be them right there. I'm not sure. So, that's about all the real photo etch I got to do. I was going to run outside real fast. You know, like I said, I'm in this apartment, and usually what I do when I'm ready to spray something is I'll take these over to the patio door and set them on a chair next to the door, and I'll grab one and run outside real fast, spray it. But it's starting to snow out. It's getting late. It's kind of dark. I can't see what I'm doing, so I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow to get them painted. But that's how I do my painting. I take a little spray can, run outside real fast, shoot them with some color. But like I said, I got all my launches done. They're all finished. I got photo etch to put on that yet. But other than that, they're all painted, ready to go, ready to be mounted. So I'm getting along there. I was messing with this photo etch. Figured I might as well get caught up on that and get a bunch of that done. But like I said, read the directions and see, because some of the stuff you put, it doesn't go on in the original place that the other parts went. So I'm just looking at some of this stuff here. This is my photo etch paper. Nice little directions. The only problem is I got to have my magnifiers on to read them, and they're kind of blurry. Print's getting kind of messed up on them. But that's about all I got is really them accommodation ladders, they call them. And get those done, and that's pretty much going to be it for the photo etch. All them and the airplanes. So that's pretty much it. So when I get done with this video, I'll be working on that next. Still haven't got my two towers together. I don't know what you want to call them. But I've been working on them, getting them painted up and stuff. Working on them here and there. I got to put a couple ladders on them and get them mounted. I don't want to mount them too soon because I'm afraid that I go handling this boat and moving it around, they'll get bumped. So that's going to be one of the last things that goes on, I believe. I'm really ready for the superstructure. I guess I could go ahead and get that on. Probably get that on the next day or so. But I got that all glued together, ready to go. But I've just been kind of hanging on to that stuff because working on this boat, it's much easier to grab it like that, turn it, spin it, do what you got to do without worrying of knocking anything off. So I think that's going to be the show for the day. I might be adding a little bit more to it later. I'll see how much time I'm running on. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to upload another video to YouTube right now. I'll be doing that in a few minutes. So thanks for watching. Hang in there. We're getting there. We're almost done. I think maybe no more than maybe 4 more videos and I should be done. And that's one thing I notice about my videos that I do have on there. It's like everybody waits for the finished product, and then you get a bunch of hits on that. It's like the rest of it they don't care about. And I really don't show a whole lot of what I do and how I do it, because I think that, you know, you burn up a half hour of video showing somebody how to glue 2 pieces of photo etch together, and you know, I'd rather tell you about it and what I did and how I done it. One thing I did show you was the buckler bags, and that was kind of, you know, that was almost 20 minutes of video showing you how to manipulate little putty. So, but that's the way I usually do it, as I do something and show you where I'm at and any kind of problems I ran into. Okay, so that's it for this section. Okay, I'm going to go and hurry up and make this quick. I'm running a little long. I got 15 minutes I think already on that video. So what I decided to do, and you learn from your mistakes, is finish up the photo etch. I think if I ever buy this stuff again, first thing I do before I start building a model is build the photo etch, because I ran into another problem. I built these little steps, these accommodation ladders, went ahead and got them done. Now I guess I wasn't paying attention because there's an A, B, and C, but the thing is, two of them go on one side and one on the other, so they have to be put together in a certain order. And I guess I wasn't following the directions, and I had to take one of them and tear it completely apart and rebuild it so it would wind up on the other side. But here's one of the problems with this photo etch again, is the plastic that comes with the model. It has, let's see if I can find it right there, it has two holes, one up there and one down there, where the plastic was supposed to, you know, with them little tabs go in there. Well, with the photo etch, you put that on there, well, I'll just tell you, too hard to hold it up there. When you put that on there, I can cover up that bottom hole, that's no problem, but the top hole is going to be there and you're going to see it. So once again, I'm going to have to get the putty out and fill that top hole in right there, and also I'm going to have to cut a little slot in that little railing I put along there, that extra piece of plastic. I'll have to cut a little slot in that to where they can get on the ship. So I think next time I'll do all the photo etch first, and then as I go, if I ever do another model, match up the photo etch with the directions and maybe put a red mark here where there's got to be a change, or where I'm going to be using photo etch, and so on and so forth. But watch them ladders. That screw up cost me some time. I did get the airplanes done. Let me get one picked up here. I got my little airplanes finished. And there's another little thing, but I'll tell you, there was, every time I get another piece of photo etch, I think it can't get no worse than the last one, and this one was a treat too. There's two little pieces that go up in underneath the wings up here. They're up in there. I got the plane upside down, but there's two little pieces. Well, guess what? The very last one, getting ready to glue it, and I dropped it, and I could swear up and down I dropped it on my desk, and I lost it. It's gone. The dust bunny's going to get it. So I made my own up. But I try to work over my desk when I'm working with this photo etch, and boy, that one got away from me. A couple pieces of photo etch I did not use on it, where that pontoon glues to the bottom. They had some photo etch for that. I didn't use it. I just went ahead and glued that onto the plane in them two little holes they had. Because I was afraid that photo etch it's too delicate, and I wanted a good solid airplane up on there. So I got the airplanes done. 99.9% of the photo etch is done. The only thing I really got left is a couple deck hatches, a couple ladders have got to go on yet, and the propellers for the planes. I got them on there. I want to put them on last because that's some small stuff. I did take my superstructure here, and I keep referring back and forth to pictures on the internet, looking at guys' pictures of models that they done, and you can really see a lot of this stuff on the bigger scales, on the 1/200. All right, there's a little box up here, a little, I don't know what it is, who's supposed to be in there manning that position. It's this thing right up here. And what I done was, I noticed there were supposed to be some portholes in there. So if you can see them, I drilled out some little bitty portholes in there to give it a little more flash. Same way, like I told you once before, I drilled them little portholes out that's inside of there. That was solid. I know they're supposed to be like slits, more rectangle instead of round, but well, I wasn't going to try and get in there and mess with that because that's a solid piece. That's glued on all together there. So just a little more extra work I done. But like I said, I'm gonna have to work on this, on the hull of this ship again. I got 3 holes I got to fill. I did get my captain's launches on there. Got those right there. Got those mounted in there. Got the photo etch on them, and also I drilled some little portholes in them. There was another thing. After I got them all together, all done, I was looking at the photo etch, and I should have cut open the back of them. They showed you in the photo etch how you could make them look better by cutting open the back side of it. I guess that's where the guy stands that steers the little launch. But that's going to be it for this video, I think. You know, these directions, they're not very well written. All they got is a picture of something with some dotted lines. And that's why I'm always on the internet referring to pictures of other guys just to see how things go together and what they look like. They show on here those 2 cranes I made facing towards the back, where 99 out of 100 pictures I saw got them facing towards the front. Now they'd be facing towards the back, I guess, if he was launching a boat or something, but I guess when they're in their stationary position, they should be facing towards the front, and that's what I'll be doing. But the directions are really not all that great. These are pretty bad, as far as I'm concerned. I just, who am I? You know, this is only my 3rd model. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, you learn from your mistakes, and next time if I do this photo etch, I will do that first. And as I go through and do a piece of photo etch, like I'll circle it that it's in photo etch so I know to look for any changes on the model. I think that's the best way to do it. So if you do get it, I think that's your first experience with it. Try that. I think it'll work better for you. Okay, so I got to patch these holes in the side of my hull. I think while I'm at it, I'll probably put my chain on there. I'm to the point where it's just ready to go together. I just trying to make sure I got every little thing done before I put them 2 towers on there, because I do not want to handle this too much and break them off. Okay, that's it for this one for sure. Oh yeah, I keep saying that's it. I do want to get them little life buoys on that deck too. I got it halfway apart like this. Okay, that's it. Going to bed.